Hello there, fellow NPCs. I am Scythe, and today we're going to continue to play the ladder. So, in the last episode, some shit went down, to say the least. So, Rebecca Gales is no longer with us, and we almost lost our lives due to that stupid, evil ghost being stuck in the closet over at Isabella's place. But yeah, now we have run away, and I believe it's the 31st now. Is it the 31st? Let's see. 31st was last. 30th was last night, so it's possibly it's the 31st today, which means Zack is gonna die. Question is, when and where? As I remember it, he died during the night to this day, so we might get a phone call any second now. So let's see how that all turns out. Let's go. A dreary downpour starts off the Monday. Although it doesn't last for more than an hour, the dark clouds lift just after the sun peaks over the horizon. Brief as it is, the rain has significantly dampened the park's usually cheery vibe. Mornings like this often mark the start of another bad week. And the rest gone wrong, another investigation leading to a dead end, with some truly fucked up shit being called in. Like that one time I was dispatched to a scene where a guy gouged his own eyeball out and almost ate it. God damn. In this town? Damn. Was a few shoots away from swallowing it, in fact. I lost my dinner that day.
Fun times.
Of course, I doubt anything can top getting cursed by a damn chain letter, of all things. This is the sort of stupid thing people pass along as a prank through emails and text messages, for fuck's sake. A ghost chasing after you just puts the icing on the cake. So far, all we've done is run, snoop about, read stuff and run again. It frustrates me to no end how we're still no closer to an answer. Even my car reflects the state my mind is in. Photocopies of documents litter every available surface. Scattered all over the place, spilling from the passenger side and into the back seat, making an entire mess of what little space there is. Not that I'm any better. My last shower was 24 hours ago. I haven't slept at all, and my last meal was that chocolate porridge thing Isabella offered. The way I am now, I'll definitely get a scolding. If Becca were here, she'd give me an earful and tell me to take care of myself better. Say that I'm killing myself on the job. Wow, there's a lot of story updates, and I finally figured out, well, I did some time ago, figure out what a story update is. And that is just the different small branches that has happened throughout the game that is currently affecting the lines that is happening in this scene. So every time you hear that, boing, it's something that could have been said differently. I can already hear Isabella complaining how dark the bags under my eyes are getting, and how I reek and how I need to shower pronto.
I can rest easy when this is all over.
It's not that I can't feel the pang of hunger. With that woman chasing after you, it's difficult not to feel anything other than horror. The rush of adrenaline coursing through my veins in my desperation to survive. In fact, I can still sense the ghost of her touch from last night. Her bony digits wound tightly around my ankle, and the horrid smile she has on her as she pulls me closer. Are we gonna have a flashback? No? The memory is enough to send a shiver up my spine and make me antsy. Perhaps the only thing comforting about this is the sight of my gun nearby. From my dashboard, sunlight glints off Ophelia's surface. Why do you put names on things? It's one thing if you do it for one thing, but on every inanimate object that you own, that is typically manly. I would assume that because you wouldn't give your TV or your kitchenware or something like that a nickname. It's just a cool, badass thing that have a softer, feminine touch to it. Ashley, was it? No. and Ophelia. Weird. Normally, I keep it hidden in a compartment. Loxburn police regulation only allows authorized people to carry firearms, and even those are limited. I do have that authorization, but I never really saw the need for its use, when the standard issued tasers are more than good enough to incapacitate anyone. If not, I can always throw them on their back. Those judo lessons Dad forced me to get as a kid has its uses too. On a ghost though, all of those will probably yield the same result. They're all useless. I might as well use a stick. However, it's the feeling of ease I'm after, or what little of it I can gather from it. The awareness that I, at least, have something to protect myself with, in case things go wrong. That I can still protect the people who are still depending on me despite the missteps I've taken. It doesn't take the edge off, though, the feeling that your whole body has been strained far beyond its capacity. Frankly, I'm already running out of steam. The only thing pushing me right now is knowing someone is still depending on me. A stretch is still in order, though. I've been sitting here since last night. Soon, I step out of my car, closing it behind me with a thud as I take in my surroundings. The rain did wonders. The morning air feels crisper and cooler than it has ever been in days. For once, the weather seems to be taking a turn for the normal. Loxburn normal. In the distance beyond the building lining the horizon, dark clouds are blowing in.
A storm might be due this evening, give or take.
A shame for the people looking forward to Halloween tonight. I'm just not sure whether this is something I can look forward to as well. Still, I bask in the change it brings. Inhale, exhale. Breathing in, taking in a peace, as if it'll be my last. But as with all the good things, the quiet shortly comes to an end. Not necessarily a bad end. Her humming reaches my ear first, halting my movements. Sure enough, when I glance up, I find her. Isabella. Just as she enters the park grounds, bags of convenience store food in hand. After last night's flight from Salemwell, we've elected to stay the night here, unsure if our own homes will still be safe. Normally, we'd both be adverse to the idea of spending the night outside like this, but panic and distress has tainted that decision. It's not like we got an ounce of sleep anyway. On the off chance one of us did, it only lasted about a second, or it's a fitful one. But looking at her right now, from afar, it's easy to mistake her for someone who's simply out on an early morning stroll. Her steps are light and free as she walks, the expression of face calm, if not untroubled. Her voice fills the atmosphere with a light air, temporarily easing off the disheartening mood. It's easy to pretend we're not knee-deep in a life-and-death situation the way she acts now. Easy to forget we've lost someone, or one of us is being framed for a crime he likely didn't commit. If anything, it's only her appearance that betrays that mask. Slightly disheveled, bags under her eyes, an exhausted curve in her shoulders, and dragging footsteps. But the closer she gets, the more obvious these signs are to the naked eye. She passes an energy drink in my way at the moment the distance allows it, and hands me the other bags she is holding, before seating herself on the edge of the fountain. Energy cheap! The scent of warm food immediately wafts from the bag when I open it, carried further by a passing breeze. Whatever sweet sauce they drizzled over this pork wannabe, it smells heavenly. Hell. Even the sorry-looking vegetables seems appetizing. Despite myself, without even checking exactly what this is, hunger swiftly takes over every rational thought. I dig in without waiting for her to start. Although she appears to be of the same mind too, and soon enough she also starts with hers. No casual talk while we fill our empty stomachs. Exhausted as we both are, food is something we can't forgo. Starvation dulls the thinking, weakens the body. If we are to survive this, we're gonna have to take care of ourselves first. Is one thing Zack will likely remind me if he's here. I know that's what Rebecca would do. In a matter of minutes, we're done and dumping the empty cartons on a nearby waste bin. Along with it, the shift in the mood. Back to dismal. Back to the problem at hand. The comfortable atmosphere from minutes ago was nice while it lasted. Admittedly, we've missed these kinds of moments between us. We never had a chance. Always busy on some project or work. The things we've taken for granted. Now we're realizing how valuable they are. With one of us gone, the other stuck in a jail cell, the world has an awful sense of humor. While the one we've just had is short-lived, it's another thing I want to look forward to, if we ever free ourselves from this damn curse. I'd like to believe there's a way. For now, we have to focus back on the present. This. Dead people. The letter. The curse. It's not simple to bring these up, but necessary.
What now? Where do we go from here?
So it only took, 9 minutes to get an actual conversation going here. 9 minutes of monologue, inner monologue at that. What now? Where do we go from here? Okay, right? It's an innocent question. It's an innocent question at best, but she looks to me as if my face has all the answers in the world. I used to think so. Back when I was at the top of my game and I'm still sure of everything. Now, there's just uncertainty sullying whatever decision I can come up with. At some point, logic has simply stopped working here and we've started grasping at straws. Along with exhaustion, fatigue and stress, we have enough kindling to get a fire burning. The not so pleasant kind of fire. And this is actually, let's check it. This is an amazing piece of art. Straight up. There is nothing that can be said about that. Oh, fuck you. We could have had Zach and Rebecca here standing with us as well. That's why it's so empty. Oh my god. Oh, now that's heartbreaking. Not so pleasant kind of fire.
We can't stay here. We'd be sitting ducks if we remain in one place.
But we can't just keep running like this either, Ash. Sooner or later, she'll...
We don't have much of a choice, Isabella. Even our homes aren't safe. Anytime, that woman, that thing might get us. Fuck. A zombie apocalypse would be better than this.
Oh yeah, definitely. A zombie apocalypse, you can do something about it. It's still just people, in a sense. But this is incorporeal. This is haunting you. This will follow you wherever you are. It can even be inside other people. As with the case of Kylie.
So what then? You're giving up?
Nobody said that.
Just because this whole thing isn't panning out the way you want it to, doesn't mean there isn't a way out. Ash, I know Zach wouldn't want you to do that. I know Rebecca wouldn't.
Rebecca's gone. Dead. Isabella, if what happened last night didn't tell you how bad...
I know that. You don't have to keep reminding me. Do you really think I don't blame myself for everything?
Wait, what? No.
Wrong. No. If there's anyone who's responsible for getting everybody in this mess, it's not her. She warned us. She warned me. Tried to stop me when I pried the letter off her hands. It's never her fault. Oh, that's bad. It's never her fault. This is not her fault. Would have been better. It's never her fault speaks to the fact that he thinks she can do no wrong. Which, considering that he is in love with her, is a very dangerous position to take. If there's anyone she should be blaming, it's me.
I'm not... No one's telling you to...
Simply seeing that expression on her face. That guilt eating away at her.
Belle, please don't think that way. Not right now.
It hurts.
No, but you might as well just say it.
It hurts that I can't even do anything to lighten that burden.
Even if you don't, I know everyone, even Rebecca, thinks this is...
It hurts that I can't even find the right words to soothe that grief.
Belle, that's enough. We'll just have to make do with what we have. Stop blaming yourself for every little thing. because it's not even helping anyone at this point.
We both falter to silence at my words, and an awkward, stifling mood descends between us. I do not mean to shout, to snap at her, to add to that kindling. Not in a moment when anytime, anywhere that damn ghost, might get to one of us. We're both in the same boat, yet here we are, playing the blame game. Little by little we're falling apart, caving into the pressure, to the bleak situation we're trapped in. Did that ghost mean for this to happen? To divide us each so that she can pick us out one by one right after? Who knows? Anything's possible now if her kind can exist. With a fire burning between us, rising as high as it does now, I'm afraid. Deathly afraid. That's the possibility might come sooner than I can figure all of this out. Fuck. I still can't think straight. I can't even believe the next words coming out of my own mouth. That out of everyone, I have to be the one saying these to her. This is more her forte than mine. Keeping the peace, getting along with everyone, while I unintentionally aggravate people with badly chosen words. Funny how fast the tables have been turned after just one unfortunate incident. How am I even supposed to cope?
I swear I'll get us out of this mess. I'll find a way to get Zack out of that place. But if we want to make it out of this in one piece, we're gonna have to calm down first.
Ooh. Oh, new music! I don't think I recognize this one. Before my own temper flares, I walk away and slide back into my car. Let's see what we have to say in the journal, though. Here we go. After spending the night out at the local park, Ashley and Isabella try to figure out what their next step will be. However, coupled with stress and the guilt Isabella has been carrying with her, the conversation quickly went downhill. Unable to find comforting words, Ashton suggested they cool their heads first. So... No, he's still dead, we just haven't received his phone call yet. The phone call. If the door slams with more force than needed, I'd like to blame it on the pent-up anger boiling up in me. I'm not even sure what or who I am angry at. The ghost? At her sudden outburst, or maybe at myself for being this useless? Because despite her not saying anything, I know, goddammit. She's still counting on me. In spite of my failures, or every harsh word I've uttered, or how unbearable I can be as a friend, it's there when the tension after the argument finally breaks, and she follows me and gets in the car. It's in concerned glances she shoots my way when I start the engine without a word and drive off. It's in her silence, a heavy gift, her unwavering trust. Yet, it's one I'm more than willing to carry, even through my own exhaustion, if only to keep her safe. In this city of 68,000 strangers, she's the only one I have left. You still have Zack, as far as you know. Though, in all seriousness, a good rest is still our best bet for now. Thinking with an exhausted brain is almost as good as running around in circles. We might as well just throw ourselves at the ghost and be done with this. We're going to the Shawshank Inn, or whatever it's called. The local Irish pub may not be the best place to hang around when one hasn't slept a wink or you're stressed. More often than not, it's loud. Sometimes the music played by drunkards grates the ears and the whole place smells like piss on a bad day. All in all, it's very definition of the last place I'll hang around after a wakeful night, but it's safe. Or as safe as it can be with a G security watching the place. Makes it easy to find help, in case you find yourself in a tight spot. The place being owned by a person I've implicitly placed my trust on provides some semblance of comfort too. Gregor, bartender G or just G to his regular patrons, might be rough around the edges. Sometimes a bit too gruff for a man who's serving drinks behind the counter, but he belongs to the good folk of this city. If there's anyone in this place I can rely on to look after people important to me, it's probably him. He means well. Surprisingly, despite his surly demeanor, he cares to some extent. For people he likely only sees once or twice a week or on a bad day. Not the best job in the world, in my opinion, but that's exactly it, isn't it? In wine, there is truth. Alcohol, in this case. It loosens the tongue, forces one to let his or her guard down. Whatever inhibitions anyone has, it all flies straight out of the window after a few glasses. It has made him observant too. Always has one or two things to say about someone or something. Most of the time, it's me. Opinionated ass. But God knows how many times I've asked for his help when I'm met with a dead end in a case or I'm in trouble. This time is no different. As expected, the moment we show up, he's kind enough to offer us a room at the back of his shop. A single look at my face, I don't even know how to say anything. I don't even need to say anything, and the next thing we know, he's leading us in. No questions asked. Maybe it's also for this reason why I find myself drifting towards his station hours later, after having gotten that much needed shut-eye. Newly washed drinking glasses and tumblers line the counter surface when I enter the room. Behind the bar, G is busy wiping one of them clean, likely prepping it for tonight's use. Briefly, he glances up at me, once I claim one of the empty stools and grabs a rocks glass sitting closest to my elbow. Turning it absent-mindedly in my palm, just to keep my hands occupied, while my brain's busy. Still trying to make sense of everything. Even at a dead hour, with only a few patrons milling about, this place still smells strongly of liquor. Honestly, I've never grown fond of it. Regardless of how many times I've made a trip or sat here on the same spot, just talking with the old man. I've never been fond of drinking in the first place. Yet oddly, it's the nasty odor of a brewery that helps me clear the mind this time. Along with the lack of the establishment's usual hubbub and occasional clinking of glasses. Even more bizarre is that, through my lack of words, G doesn't say anything. Although it's clear from the way his mouth is curved up in a tight frown that he has questions, a bucket load of it, he wisely keeps it shut. Instead, he simply focuses back on his work. Rinse, wipe, stash away, repeat. Going through the motions with such familiarity, it's almost a trance. Watching his precise movements quietly like this, with these thoughts swimming inside my head, it's easy to lose track of everything around me. One solid lead on this, one possible way to sort this out, but will it work? Especially if my assumption's correct and that the reason Zack was there yesterday morning was because of the curse. Something must have happened for him to see the need to look into it and break inside that place. What if the couple has fallen victim to the curse? It doesn't fall outside the realm of possibility. I've been so biased, not even thinking that they might be in danger as well. But during the open house with Isabella, they might have seen the letter and... Fuck.
Stupid. Some fucking detective I am.
Well, you can't really blame yourself for that, because you're a detective, not a paranormal investigator. I mean, what could you do? That's likely the moment when Cooper saw it. If the logic holds, I need to hurry there right away. And if there are answers anywhere, it will be there. It should be there, where all of this fucking mess started. It's not only my life on the line here. There are others. What happened to us, I won't wish on anyone else, no matter how much I loathe them. Or how complicated all of this has suddenly become. The letter. The woman. The mansion. And now there are the voices lacing venom inside every crevice in my head. Murmurs that jeer, scoff and deride whenever an opportunity presents themselves.
It's because you didn't listen.
What the fuck was that? Was that Zack's voice? I'm trying to figure out, was that Zack?
It's all your fault.
Oh, this is a lot of stout.
Why won't you believe me?
Oh. A reminder of what I've failed to do and who I've failed. Yeah, exactly. Other cases it had throughout the years that in which he didn't believe someone for some reason. It's all coming back to him now. Damn. At some point, they all begin to blur together, twining and coiling, every horrid image and memory of her seeking the forefront of my mind. No matter how much I refuse to remember the fear I felt then, to push it as far back as I can, the vision comes to me like a deluge. And before I know it, before I can drown, another voice pulls me out of it.
You're doing good there, boy.
Thank you, G. His hand is on my shoulders, gripping me tightly and giving me a light shake. There's a relief in his face when I finally look up at him, although his frown appears more distinct than the concerns in his eyes. It's deeper now, marred with worry and agitation. He doesn't let go when I offer him a small nod, but the furrow between his eyebrows never leaves his face. He always has a knack for reading people, after all, even someone who can be as closed off or distant like me. In all the time I've spent in the Force, there's only one person who's as keen as this old guy. In all the time I've spent in the Force, there's only one other person who's as keen as this old guy. The Chief. Funny and weird to some degree. I pointed that out to him so many times before how much they look alike, only for the observation to be brushed off with a vehement tone. Okay, so I didn't want to comment this, but I've been talking to another YouTuber, Strawberry Shorts, hi, who say that there are hints that G, Policeman Chief, Policeman Lee, and Father Norman, as I called him, I think that was his name, are brothers. I just thought there was a funny little thing, an Easter egg, that they are voiced by the same character, so of course, by the same actor, so of course they have to have the same face. But are they really brothers? I have yet to find that one out. And also, I think Professor Clark is also part of this family in that case. He has a lot more beard to his face, so it's difficult to say. But I think he belongs in the same cluster of people. But the fact that they are vehemently brushing it off means that, oh yeah, I know, it's my brother, kind of thing. So maybe they actually are canonically brothers. I never brought it up again after the third time, or out of respect for the guy. Whatever it is, it's clear it's something he doesn't want to talk about. Yeah. Why push, right? However, during times like this, it's impossible for the thought not to come up. He even has to glare down pat. Under his wordless scrutiny, I feel like a damn rookie again.
You're looking a bit green. Sure you got plenty of rest back there? You were only out for an hour or two. Wouldn't hurt to try and get some sleep. I'll keep an eye out.
No need. Don't worry about me. I won't be able to get some sleep anyway.
Not with her face still a clearer picture in my head. No.
I heard that from you before. Not buying it. What's the story this time?
Oh, are we gonna tell you about the ghost?
This as bad as that case with the guy who ate his own eyeball?
Oh, this is worse, brother.
I wish it were. Jesus, stop reminding me. I hated that case.
I mean, that case about a guy being gouging his own eye out and then eating it reminds me of that zombie case that was in the United States many years ago, when bath salts were first making an appearance on the drug market, basically. There was one guy that got so high on the stuff that he actually ate the face of another woman. And when the police showed up, they had to empty half a clip in him before he fell down. That was the zombie drug thing that happened back then. But yeah, no zombies, no zombie apocalypse, just a stupid drug.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say you get a kick out of telling people about it.
It's useful, you know, for blokes who don't know their limits. Sends them right out the door after I start with a description. Or was it the part when the poor schmuck gouged his eyes out? Nasty, awful, icky stuff, and it gets the job done. Like I said, useful.
You can chase away the annoying people with that story. Awesome.
Don't even need to call security these days if I want to kick someone out. Anyway, pretty sure that pales in comparison to whatever this is now.
Yeah, and if it is, if even you understand that it's paling in comparison to this, then you should be worried.
I haven't seen you this stressed out since I closed that case. The one from 10 years ago with your professor friend.
Which I also believe is part of your cluster, as I said. So, professor friend, not saying brother, not saying my brother, G's brother, not just an Easter egg now this time around.
Abigail and her team weren't able to solve that one, G. No one has been able to. It just went cold.
Same difference. But what do I know, eh? I just serve drinks, listen to people's problems and their whining, then make sure they get home safe afterwards. Thing is, I'm also not blind, kiddo. And you can bet your ass I can tell when a person's about to fall apart.
What? Is this some form of therapy from you? Are you going to offer me free drinks now?
Hell no. Really, I can use some right now. Something to numb the senses. But when has that helped anyone?
In your dreams, kid. Last time someone gave you the hard stuff, your photographer friend had to haul you out of this place almost half naked.
Hey, I can handle my liquor when I put my mind to it.
Not from what I've seen, nope. Besides, you usually avoid drinking. Either way, it's out of the equation. And when booze no longer counts, we just talk. So, talk. It's not like anyone within earshot will care. That chap over there only wants his cricket matches.
I doubt you believe it, G.
I've heard worse stuff. Try me.
You know that mansion down at Anslum?
Yeah, who doesn't? You live in this town long enough, it's impossible not to hear a thing or two about it. Bloody locals.
Well, my friend found a primitive version of a chain letter in there. Now that we've seen it, we're cursed.
A beat passes. For a long moment, G stands there, unmoving. His hand stops short of placing the glass he's been wiping prior back to a rack on his left. All while he stares at me with eyes that are nothing short of scrutinizing. He probably assumes I'm joking. Who wouldn't? Not a week ago, I've been put in the same position. Even now, in spite of the things I've seen and heard, I simply won't sink in. Or maybe this is just desperation creeping in. The idea that I may not be able to find a way out of this. Whatever the case is, for people who hasn't experienced what I'm going through, this will merely sound like an awful Halloween prank.
It's not a prank.
This must have been what Isabella felt the whole time we made fun of her that day.
This isn't a prank! I saw something!
Now it's too late. We're stuck in a never-ending nightmare, where the only way out might be death. And like I've expected, G's reaction to it, and amused laughter. It booms throughout the whole pub after a long bout of silence, like I just told him a particularly funny joke.
Okay. Good one, kid. You don't want to spill. No one's forcing you. Seriously, though. Good one.
You're a good actor, my friend. Although I want to be angry with him, I can't find it in myself. Can't even muster the energy for a scowl or a glare. Nothing but a taste of my own medicine to temper the annoyance bubbling up in me, I suppose. In the end, echoing her words is the best I can do.
It's not a joke.
Yeah, alright, good luck with that. You're on your own.
Gee, thanks, that one hurts.
Here I thought you didn't have an ounce of humor in that body. Guess I'm wrong.
But also, isn't Isabella with us here? We didn't separate. She's with us, right? Why isn't she piping up anything? Did I miss something? He shakes his head, lets out another chuckle before returning to his task. By now, almost half of the glasses have been put away. The only ones remaining are the smaller kind used for shots and stemmed ones for cocktails. Despite being busy with his task, his amusement does not entirely disappear from his face. He keeps talking, as if I'm simply another customer he entertains with his stories. But we both know it's more than that. Yet a wistful expression on him says anything.
Man, can't believe you're the same rookie who walked in here almost a decade ago. Too smart for his own good, that boy. Has always been 2 steps ahead of things. Now he's here, sulking.
Yeah.
I must have screwed up somewhere then.
I must have screwed up a lot. For things to suddenly shift like this, for me to become a mere shadow of the person I used to be.
No, I don't think so. This one, screwed up? Not by a mile. It's too early to say. You've still got several years ahead of you, Holmes. Take it easy. But some things change, eh? It has been years, and you were a kid back then. You know, the sort that's a bit unsure, making all the horrible decisions in life he'd eventually be embarrassed to talk about.
You never stop calling me kid, though.
Well, you still are.
Oh!
It's just that this time, you're sure of who that badge and gun is for. What was it you police types usually say? To protect and serve, yeah?
A significant pause follows at its heels. From both of us, as it allows its meaning to sink in and spur something in me, stirring a feeling both heavy and forceful, but not completely unwelcome. Familiar. Journal update. Though before I can even clarify what he's trying to imply or gather my thoughts on that matter, G turns away to begin his work on the silverwares. He'll need those too, once more of his patrons come in for lunch. Slow and easy. A sharp contrast with a strained air we've been wading through these past weeks. A fleeting moment, but one I allow myself to relish, if only because of its absence lately. The way things are now, this is almost a gift. So when it all ends with the sound of my phone ringing, a sigh is all that leaves me. But before we answer that phone, let's check the journal. This is gonna be painful. After the argument at the park, Ashton took Isabella someplace where they could rest. Okay, so she's sleeping. G welcomed them to the pub without question. While she was sleeping, the detective and the bartender had a little chat about the past and what had changed over the years. I placed the damn thing on low volume last night, but it does nothing to keep it quiet. I don't even know if I want to answer it right now. It has brought me nothing but one bad news after another. Thinking back about it only makes me want to chuck it into the closest trash bin I can find. Not that it helps things, of course. Another exhale slips past my lips before I pull it out, quickly swiping over the screen without checking the caller ID. After all, the one person who'll worry or fret over how awful I might sound right now is here with me. My parents never call around this hour, so chances are it's probably just his chief or Abigail. There's Zach, but he's in a position where contacting me is impossible, placed in a jail by some scumbag for a crime he likely didn't commit. No use pretending what I'm not when it's anything but.
Inspector Frey speaking.
Good morning, sir. Sorry to bother you this early.
What is this about?
It's about your friend, you know? The guy I called you about yesterday, the one they got in the night before. Zachary Steele.
His hesitant note does nothing to diminish the lump that suddenly lodged itself at the base of my throat. What are the chances? What are the chances something went wrong while I'm not looking? While I'm out here brooding of all things?
How is he? Is he doing okay?
We actually have a problem, Detective Inspector.
Hasty assumptions aren't usual fare in my book. That shouldn't change it right now. The precinct is secure. It's supposed to be. They have guards manning the station 24/7. If anything happens, all Zack has to do is shout and someone will be there for him. Even if it's a phantom going after him, he should be safe there. He should have been. Yet, none of these reassurances will allay my suspicions, and whatever little thread of hope I'm hanging on to frays slowly as each second of silence passes by. An expectation so weak, faint, I might as well just let it go and prepare myself for the worst. It's a feeble attempt at optimism I will never get used to. This is out of my depth. This isn't my forte. Zack's maybe, Rebecca's too. Never mind. Hell, this is the kind of mood Isabella's always unknowingly brought with her. What her eyes often conveyed, what I often found myself searching in her whenever I look to them. But no matter how many times I repeat any words of comfort or calming images inside my head, the hollow chill at the base of my stomach refuses to ease. Even my voice shakes when I urge Officer Renz to speak again, weak and unsteady. The only thing keeping me from stumbling when I abruptly stand is to counter solid support beside me, the flat on my hand braced against it for leverage.
Officer Renz. Renz, right? What happened? You're supposed to keep an eye on him, yeah? It's protocol.
Your friend, sir, he's... I think it'd be better if you just saw it yourself, sir. This isn't something you should be hearing over the phone. Chief Inspector Lee wants you to report in as well. It's about the case Luke Wright filed yesterday and...
The rest never registers. Rather, my brain refuses to acknowledge any of it. Not even the possibility that this might just be a terrible joke. All I can think of is the suffocating dread and the piercing noise, wide and deafening, ringing in my ears despite the bar's morning rush. There is only Zack. Only the whole expanse of Luxborn, separating me from the one person I still believe safe from this whole fucked up situation we found ourselves in. Along with the voices. Vile ones. Whispers that taunt, jeer and mock. Each vague utterance growing relentless as I make my way out of the bar without another word to G and slide back into my car. Driving off with my body on autopilot, mind in dazed and afraid. But that is something we will see in the next episode. I did not expect this to go... Well, no, I actually did exactly expect it to happen like this. We would get a call, hey, you're stirred, please come in and check in, and things like that. But it's still kind of heartbreaking, you know? It's a great story, I love it. It's so very long, and that is kind of taken away from me, but it is so good. Yeah, so if you want to watch the rest of this gameplay, you have to come back in the future. And remember, just because you're not the main character, it doesn't mean you're not important. Goodbye, everyone.